What is good, people? I am so tired of doing all this technical work on the front end, trying to make sure that it's like I get my frame rates right. Because for some reason, regardless of what I've done to sort of manage glitching on this end, I've run into some. I seem to have run into some issues. And right now it looks like I have a good stream. Looks like I have a good stream and everything is on green. OBS, still learning it, but I think I just sort of uninstalled a program that was taking up a lot of, that was using a lot of memory on the computer. I think that might have been the problem. So we're going to see how that goes. Anywho, what is good with y'all? How y'all doing today? I'm drinking my caramel macchiato. And it has gotten cold, apparently. Anyway, how are y'all tonight? I hope everybody's doing good out there. Sorry about getting started late. Again, I keep trying to get everything set up beforehand, and then I run into these glitches, and they kind of throw me behind a little bit. But it's on me. That's my fault. So anyway, I didn't know what I was going to talk about tonight, to be honest with you. And then earlier today, I had my homeboy hit me up with a question. He was like, and I'm just going to read the question that he presented to me. He said, well, he didn't say a question. It was more of an interrogative statement. I wish you would do more about relationships as it relates to how to not get caught up in looking for that right someone, but being okay with just being alone and chasing self-happiness. All right? That is a great question, or better yet, it's a great interrogative statement. How do you learn how to shift your focus from looking for someone to compliment and complete you to trying to find a personal sense of fulfillment and happiness in life? How do you switch from trying to find someone to complete you to finding your own sense of purpose? That's actually a question that I've struggled with quite a bit in my life myself. I feel inherently wired to be bonded to a woman. I know that, and I want to explain that. It used to be in a sort of codependent fashion. Like I wanted someone to, and if I'm just being honest and direct about it, what I wanted was someone to be sort of like an authority figure. Right? And this is, again, it has to do with the ideologue mindset. You want someone to basically make decisions for you so that you are not responsible for your happiness or your own unhappiness. And I think that's what a good majority of people deal with when they search for significant others. They're looking for someone who will make it okay. Who will make it okay for them to not be responsible for their own happiness. Right? So they're looking for someone to actually make them happy. And this is problematic. This is problematic because the flip side of it is, if you go looking for someone to make you happy and to make you feel complete and whole, then you have somebody to blame when or if you're not happy and you don't feel complete and whole. So again, I think, especially earlier on in my quest to find someone to mate with, I was searching for someone to take responsibility for my happiness, but then also blame when or if I wasn't happy. That's the reason why ideologues, they want to dominate others. They want to subjugate others, because if you do that, then you can turn you can turn someone into a slave of sorts. When you, again, so I want you to understand through the ideologue mindset, when you are courting someone or you're pursuing someone or you're interested in someone, ultimately you're trying to compete against them. Okay, you try to demonstrate value to them, and in trying to demonstrate value to them, basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to get them to yield to your sense of potency so that ultimately they come to worship you and they are tools for you to use. They become exploitable to you. So you enter into these contests with these people that, you know, seem all happy and fun on the front end during the honeymoon phase, but then become bitter and abusive once static roles are established, right? Once there is a dominant, a static dominant and submissive party in the relationship, then the dominant party immediately loses interest in the submissive party, and it starts searching elsewhere for validation and for reasons and ways to demonstrate value to others, and then the submissive party becomes forever enslaved to the dominant. This is the way that it works at a mechanical level. And we're going to circle back to the initial question that sparked this thought path. But the main thing that you need to understand is that most people, when they enter into romantic situations, they're not there to form bonds with people. They're there to compete. They're there to compete. And ultimately, the goal, the hope, is to assimilate someone, to I guess, acquire someone so that they become exploitable and serve as an extension of one's own interests and desires. That's the way that it works at a mechanical level. So when you go looking for someone to complete you or someone that's going to make you happy, what you're actually looking for is someone who's going to serve as an extension of your desires. You're looking for an instrument. You're looking for a weapon or a tool. Somebody who's going to enhance your social identity, who's going to steer attention towards you in all the positive ways, and that ultimately is going to make you feel better, not about yourself as an authentic individual, but make you feel better about yourself as a social character. Hey, this person compliments how I want other people to see me. This person compliments how I want to see myself and how I want to feel in the ways of potency and importance. Again, this is the way that it works at a mechanical level. So again, if you're working through the ideologue mindset, which I have before, and I always allude back to that fact, you're always searching for someone to fulfill your ego and not necessarily someone to bond with and who makes you feel whole and complete and grounds you in a sense of purpose within reality. Ego only exists in idealism. It's only effective in idealism, just like society and all forms of parasitism. It's idealism. Someone who bonds with you and who comes to see you as an extension of their true self, and who you come to view as an extension of your true self, real bonding happens in reality. Idealism versus reality. So, let's get back to the question that was asked earlier. Hey, Brother Paul, that's it. I'm staying single. I understand. Well, no, you don't have to stay single. You don't have to stay single. Single is okay, but you don't find, I guess you don't get access to your full self until you actually form a real bond with someone else. Like, think about it like you're a superhero, right? You're a superhero, but you don't unlock all of your real gifts until you form a real bond with someone. Why? Because a good relationship, any good relationship, it works at a mechanical level. When someone becomes an extension of you and you learn to value maintaining the system of interactions between you all over and ahead of self-interest, once you learn how to value maintaining balance with someone else over pursuing and protecting self-interest, it frees you from the prison of selfishness. It frees you from the prison of narcissism. Once you're free from the prison of narcissism, you get access to gifts you don't even know about. Falling in love with someone, really learning to love someone, it gives you superpowers. Goes back to the original thought, though. Finding your own sense of purpose in life without defining yourself by or against another individual. This is where it gets kind of tricky. Because even though bonding with someone, authentically bonding with someone, gives you access to mental gifts and physical gifts that you're not going to probably find on your own, if you don't do the work of ridding yourself of narcissism, I said narcissism, you're going to more than likely attract narcissists, and you're going to get trapped in this cycle over and over and over again. They'll keep sending you right back to that same prison. So doing the work of purging narcissism from the soul, it's a solo affair. You can do it when you're bonded to someone, but ultimately, even the person serving as an extension of you, they don't have the power to make you prioritize the system of interactions between you and them over yourself. That's ultimately a choice you have to make. Even when it comes to combating narcissism at large, you have to make the choice to recognize reality over your inner story. That is only a choice that you can make. You have to choose to be honest. No one can make you be honest. And if you can't be honest, then you can't communicate. If you can't communicate, then you can't have a healthy relationship with anyone. So, finding a sense of purpose comes from syncing up with reality. Again, that comes from honesty. Honesty is the individual's will and effort to recognize and sync up with reality. If you can't be honest, then you can't reason. Again, reasoning is using the mental faculties to suss out what is most consistent with reality. You use reasoning to guide you towards truth. You can't do that if you protect the inner story, can you? You can't do that if you have to block out everything that threatens your internal narrative that comes within earshot of offending your feelings and beliefs. You can't do that, can you? So, goes to the issue of finding healthy mates, emotionally healthy mates. Look here, this is something that I speak to often. The socialization process, it grooms us to be raging narcissists. It's no one's fault. It's no one's fault. We were born into this shitstorm, and we use the tools that are available to us, and 9 times out of 10, bravado and self-idealizing, those are the tools most readily available to us. Those are the instruments we use to make sense of the world around us with. Unfortunately, they kind of serve as a sword and shield. Your identity is a sword and shield. And you go through life trying to chop people down with your beliefs and all your feelings and your outrage, and you block out things that threaten your sense of value and worth. And you got your sword and your shield, and and then all of a sudden you come across situations like relationships wherein you need to learn how to set down that sword and shield, pick up a hammer and a screwdriver, get to work building. You can't do that if all you know how to do is fight. You can't do that if all you know how to do is block out everything that threatens your core sense of self. Look here, there's always going to be information and ideas that come along and unearth and threaten and challenge and destroy what you learned yesterday, what you believe to be true today. Something or someone is always coming to destroy what you hold dear. You have to learn how to put this internal narrative down. You have to learn how to live in the world and face reality without the identity, without your sword and shield. You have to set that shit down and step into the fire naked. And let it burn away everything that isn't real. It's scary, I know. I did it. Oh my God. This shit was brutal. Hurt like a bitch. Goddamn. Hey, we got another interlocutor down here. Brother Samuel Corp. Ah, my man. I wish I lived in a world in which this was a current issue for me. Okay. Yeah, and I understand. You know what's really interesting? I know that... Well, this is something that is like I want you to understand about all the things that I talk about. They're all interrelated. Relationships happening at the interpersonal level, be they romantic, be they familial, be they business, be they friendships. It's all different versions of the same thing. I speak in principles, okay? Because I'm a thing, or at least I purport to be. And I host an entity which allows me to see everything in principles. What is a principle? A principle is a frame from which static patterns emerge. A principle is a frame from which static patterns emerge. People who are given to intellect, people who are scientists and academics and mathematicians, they generally, they appreciate the things that I'm talking about because they're good at pattern recognition. They understand, hey, man, so the patterns that this dude is talking about, they apply here, but they also apply here and they apply here. And the reason why the patterns, the principles I speak to apply sort of universally is because they have both allegorical and literal applications. So I'm sort of speaking above the I'm speaking above the divide, at least according to how I understand it. And I'm not trying to sell you on that idea, but if you have, let's just say a friendship, and the person who you're in a friendship with, they're more comfortable taking from you than they are monitoring the system of interactions between you. Let's just say that they constantly take advantage of you and they borrow things from you without returning them, and they enter into your space in a non-conscientious fashion wherein they just go around making messes and they just sort of expect you to clean up behind them. It still goes to the frame of a conscientious person and or a person who thinks in terms of mutualism versus a person who thinks parasitically. It doesn't matter if it's a romantic relationship or just a regular friendship. If you go into a business situation and you have a person who's like, fuck you. I just want to make sure that my interests are taken care of. And they cut corners on their end and or try to skew transactions so that things ultimately work out in their favor to your detriment, then it's the exact same thing. You're always dealing with parasitism versus mutual symbiosis. And this extends up to the universal scale of plane. It extends up to the universal scale of plane. Most people, they enter into all relationships thinking parasitically. How does this benefit me? How does this make me look more important and set me up to experience comforts and opportunities down the road? How does this benefit me? How does this benefit me? Fuck them, me. That's the parasitic mind. It's the mind of the cowardly ideologue. It's the mind of every abuser and narcissist. It's all one and the same. If you're not thinking in terms of mutualism, you're thinking in terms of parasitism. But you want to find a sense of purpose in life that isn't, or that doesn't bond you, or that doesn't necessarily make your sense of purpose dependent upon another individual. My suggestion would be use your downtime, use your alone time to purge narcissism from yourself. You know, again, it's like my experience has been rather unique. My experience has been rather unique in that somehow I became enlightened and I didn't earn it. There's a lot of people who sit on mountainsides and, you know, they meditate for years and they read over the texts of the Brahmins and the holy men throughout the ages, and they form their philosophies and have those philosophies challenged by their inner stories, and have those philosophies challenged by have these philosophies that challenged by you know, how would I say that? It's a problem with seeing principles. It's like, how do I translate that into English? They have their inner stories challenged by these feelings of unsettledness when they come across certain bodies of principles that simply don't sit right with them at an intuitive level. You know? And, well, they, in so many words or less, they earn their enlightenment. I didn't reach nirvana. I just got snapped over to heaven after a very brief introduction period to the phenomenon humans would call God. Prior to that, being an atheist, a self-professed atheist for 10 years. I didn't earn it. So I actually had to get the purging process after I reached this state of understanding that I'm able to perform through. It's fucking brutal. It hurts. Just getting humbled over and over and over again and having things just decimate your inner story and all the meanings you collect throughout the course of your life and the labels you seek to define yourself by. Shit is brutal. I was a raging narcissist when all of this started. Raging narcissist. And yeah, I had to get humbled by reality itself, and reality doesn't hold its punches. It hits hard. Hit me hard. And you know, I got a chance to see firsthand exactly how narcissistic I was and the types of negative impacts my narcissism was not just making on me, but making on others around me. And you have those moments of clarity where you sit back and you're like, damn, that's how I am? Damn, that's what I do? Is that me for real? I always thought I was a good guy. And then you get a pair of magic goggles that lets you see you ain't shit. And you're like, fuck. Damn. I used to go down lists of things that I did that were good, that made me a good man. And, you know, you get a little bit of clarity and all of a sudden you realize maybe you're not as good. Maybe you're not as good as you think you are. I used to think that I was God's gift to women. Oh, I'm a chef. I cook so well. And I can sing and play songs. And I massage well. And just had a laundry list of things that made me special, man. And at the end of the day, I was controlling. And I was manipulative. It's hard to work out, man. It's hard to face about yourself, you know. And I always wanted someone to show up and be the happiness that I didn't find in myself. Now, I still want I still want to find a woman who I genuinely bond with, and someone who can pay attention to the system of interactions between us. Like, I'm done just dealing with people who can't prioritize honesty over and ahead of their desire to be right. Like, it kills bonds. Like, I want you like, if you can't prioritize conscientiousness and mutualism over self-interest, it's not just at a relationship, at a romantic level. It's just in general. Like, right now, through choice or through happenstance, dishonest people and sort of selfish people, they're just all sort of starting to be separated and removed from my life. And I'm only drawing in honest and strong-willed and like brave people now. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that goes to the point that my brother made earlier. When you live in truth, when you walk in honesty, and not honesty in terms of just espousing your opinions and your feelings and beliefs, but honesty in terms of genuinely trying to sync up with reality and just create goodness and bring honesty wherever you go, after a while you start to repel people who don't walk in that way, and you start to attract people who do. Being patient enough for them to show up, that's a fucking hard one. At least for me it is. Hey, Brother Sam came back in. Let me see what you got. He said, I agree everything is connected. What you're saying is quite and mostly valid and overall good advice, but these are insane circumstances. Just found out my state is trying to pass a bill mandating CV-19 vaccines. I appreciate your ability to not be stressed beyond belief of what's going on and focus on pathways outside of all this. Yeah, bro, it's like I still feel some sort of way about all these things that they've been sort of unrolling. And only thing that I can say is this: the entity that I'm housing, man, when I tell you that everybody who's part of this shit from the top down is in for a bad ride, they're in for a bad ride. Like, narcissism is a choice. Competitiveness is a choice. Aggression is a choice. And, the only thing that people have to do in order to understand and get in sync with reality is pause, listen for 2 seconds and think. Just think. Fuck plans. Fuck how far ahead you are in your games and your agendas. Like, you've been given a directive by the system of reality itself. If you choose to proceed beyond that, you get what you give. And I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of what's coming. I'm just saying right now, I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of it. Like, that's the worst part about hosting the avatar perspective. Again, it lets me see things. So it's an entity that's unto itself. So it's not like me saying, hey, some magic creature is saying this thing or saying that thing. And it's like, or how would I say that? It's not me sort of using my own voice and my own value systems, or using that to sort of mask my own voice and mask my own value systems and whatnot. I'm not speaking from behind a sort of character I've created, so to speak. I'm actually describing what this entity is showing me. And, dude, I hope for their sake, I hope people listen, because, it's bad. It's just bad. Like, real bad. Real bad. Like, you couldn't wish it on your worst enemy if you wanted to bad. Like, it's bad. So hopefully things turn around. Let me see. We got brother absurd the word. Man, I love this guy. Absurd. Yo, can the sense of purpose be the cause of bond between two systems? Yes, that is a great question, and to answer it, yes, it is. I know that it's like when I think about the type of woman that I want to bond with, there has to be some understanding for the fact that both of us had sort of pre-existing life paths headed into our bond. And again, when you form any sort of bond with someone, you fall in love not with just being good to them, but being good for them. And your idea of a relationship, it basically falls to seeing where they're trying to go or seeing where they need to go on their purpose and life path, and doing everything that you can to either clear the path for them to get there and fill in the holes for them to get there. Well, basically, that's what I was just basically saying. When you see someone's purpose, you try to help them get to and achieve their purpose. That's what a relationship is. Think about it like people meeting on a pathway. People meeting on a pathway on a journey in any movie. Just think about a movie. And then somebody who becomes their friend along the way. What is a friend in that sense? Their friend is someone who's like, I'm going to help you get to where you're trying to go. Think about Lord of the Rings and the band of brothers. They're sitting down here and all of a sudden, the people who become their friends and their comrades and their brothers in arms, they sit here and all of a sudden they're like, yo, somebody has to get this ring into the mountain, into the lava in the mountain. And everybody comes together and they're like, yo, you're going to be the one to do this? We got your back. We're going to help you get there. That's what a romance is. That's what a romance is. And if two people can pay attention to the system of interactions between them, and both of them take on that sort of mindset where they're trying to help the other get to their purpose and the point of their purpose, you get a magic situation. You get a magic situation, man. It's beautiful. And also, it's like when you form a real bond with somebody, a real bond, everything is fucking magical. You love being good to them. Not because you want rewards, but just because being good to them is the reward. Looking out for them is a reward. Thinking about how to enhance their life and make things better for them, it is the reward. You can't do that when you're selfish. You can't do that when you're narcissistic, because your focus never leaves the mirror. If you're a narcissist, you can't focus on anything but you. You know? But when you think above the level of narcissism, everything is magical. It's so amazing. If you ever get a chance to, and I've been fortunate to experience this before, but it's like, man, you ever bond with a woman who's not in it to try, and I'm talking about sexually. Like, if you ever hook up with a woman who just reaches a state of mutualism with you, it's like your body's going fucking autopilot, man. It's like, it's insane. You just sit back here and your spirit self is just watching you like, I didn't know I could do that. It's amazing. It's beautiful. My God, I didn't know that was in my arsenal. But yeah, it's like mutualism. Everything becomes magic, man. Everything becomes magic. It's amazing. Samuel Court, Cognitive Dissonance, The Hero's Journey. And thanks, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank y'all for chiming in. Again, I want to go back and revisit the point that I was making, the main point derivative from the email that my brother sent me earlier. You know, when you focus on your own purpose, the only thing you need to focus on is ridding yourself of narcissism. Why? Because when you're ridding yourself of narcissism, you're basically ridding your life of narcissists. You're ridding your life of narcissists. And when you rid your life of narcissists, and all of a sudden you start attracting higher quality people. Yeah, they're few. They're like you, but they're few and far in between. I'll tell you that much. But when one quality person is worth 100, the company of 100 narcissists any day. One quality person is worth the company of 100 narcissists any day. Everything means something. Everything is magical. You're like, yo, fucking love you. And that's what I basically talk about, in my work. When you wake up and you just look over at someone, you're like, what can I do to make their experience good today? God, I love this person. Hey, let me go make some breakfast for her. Let me go make something delicious just to let her know, bitch, you matter to me. I love you. You sit here and it's like, it's like when you're out and you're like, hey, shit, damn. I know I'm headed home here in a little bit. Let me check to see if she needs something. Let me do this. Let me do that. Hey, are you set up for this thing? I know you got this thing coming up over here. You set up for this? Hey, I know you got this thing coming up over here. You set up for that? You good? Is there anything I can do for you? That's monitoring the system of interactions between you all. When you take in all the information of what's going on in their life and you're doing things to help facilitate them moving forward in life, you love them. That's love. That's real bonding. Real bonding. But it's like if you sit down here and you like everything that you do for them is a chore. Oh God, I better do this before they start bitching. Or oh God, I know that they're always giving me so much to do. There's always so much drain and all these other things. One, you don't want to be in a situation with them. And you probably perceive yourself as the dominant in that situation. But two, and probably more importantly, you're not there to build anymore. You're not there to build anymore. Or for that fact, you were probably never there to build at all. And then before you know it, you put so much strain on that person to be the glue that bonds everything together that you drain them too. And look at you. Both of you miserable. Sitting around, wanting the other person to do more to make you feel excited. And like fucking trying. It's too much. It is too much. So anywho, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Y'all already know I'm on social media. I'm obviously shooting this on Facebook Live, but you can also find me on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube, my YouTube channel. You can check it out. I got some videos up there. I actually post all of these podcasts to my YouTube channel, so you can check them out when or if you are interested to. You can also follow me on Medium. It's like I write pieces there. I share a lot of them on Facebook too, but it's like just in case you go looking for something, you can check me out on Medium. Flex the arm, man. It's like I'm getting old. I did that a little bit earlier, and I'm like, my God, my guns, where did they go? Well, I'm 44, man. I don't care about that anymore. All done. Anywho, and it's like if you ever get any sort of benefit out of what I do and you just want to bless your boy with something, you can always hit me up on Cash App. I'm at Donna King. Just whatever you want to do. Also, you can catch me over on Patreon, and I'm at Avatar Cycle XIII. That's Avatar Cycle 13, and you can join the Patreon family. Everything goes towards building this up to a larger platform, getting more equipment. I actually want to get studio set up so I can get my brothers in here, man. I got my homeboys Gabriel and Tyrone and Ant. Is like, man, it's like, you know what? And I'm gonna say it like this: I see frames from which static principles emerge. These dudes see static principles, and it's like some of the connections and correlations that they're able to make through their experience. It doesn't match some of the stuff that I see, but it's like I start exploring what they're talking about and start looking at it in principles, and I'm like, oh shit, you see some stuff too. And it's like I'm real excited to actually get them in this so that y'all can see, man. It's like it's some dope folks out here, man. Y'all be sleeping on them. Everybody, they sleep on people because everybody's so wrapped up in how potent they are that a lot of times these really exceptional people sort of fly under the radar. And I'm really looking forward to bringing those people to this platform so you guys get a chance to see how dope some of these people really are, man. I got some really dope brothers out here. Mike Jones, brother Mike Jones. Excellent people. We all strive to be excellent. And it's so funny. It's like when you strive to be excellent, that's the kind of people you attract. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, brother, absurd the word. Let's see, I'm flexing. I'm getting old. Anyway, yo, man. Hey. I just want to let y'all know I appreciate you. I thank you for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? We do this as often as we can. I want to explain as many of these principles to y'all as I can because, again, I don't know how long I'm going to be in this body, and this is a rare opportunity. I mean, like, even I'm saying that even in hosting this particular thing because, again, not every species gets an entity that sort of explains principles of reality to them. And that gives them an opportunity to sort of sync back up with reality. It's a lot of parasitic species out there that they're just going in the garbage, man. It's rough. So take advantage of it while you can. And on that, I will see y'all. Have a wonderful evening. Peace.